Good afternoon, Live Oak Church. It's my week to share our daily scriptural thoughts, and really appreciated our elders and just the wisdom that they've given us, and what a blessing they've been. It's just reminded me how much I love those guys and just feel blessed. And they're my pastors as well as your pastor, and I'm very grateful that they are my pastors and also brothers that I get to share with, and just been so blessed by them. And today is my day to share my scriptural thoughts. And what I want to do this week, everybody's been using themes, and what I want to do this week is I want to also go with the theme, and it has to do with the theme of wisdom, but it's not a comprehensive thing. I was taught as a youth, and it's something I've used regularly throughout my life, this pattern where whatever the date is, you read the Proverbs and the Psalm of that day. And it's just one of those things because I kind of fell in love with the Proverbs that I've done regularly. I haven't done it consistently my whole life, but I'll regularly go back to it. And this week I'm doing that again, particularly for our devotion time, if we call it that. And today is May the 4th. So may the 4th be with you. And on this day, then, we would turn to Proverbs chapter 4, and we would read the Proverbs of that day and then say, Lord, what is wisdom and insight that I can have for life? Well, he begins chapter 4 the same way that we see at the beginning of all of Proverbs, or the whole book of Proverbs. Those first several chapters, he is saying, get wisdom, get insight, and he's just encouraging his son to be a person who pursues wisdom. And we see that even here in this chapter. In verse 7, he says, the beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. And whatever you get insight. So whatever you get in life, get insight. Make sure that's part of what you get in life. And the beginning of wisdom is that you get wisdom. Be a person who desires wisdom, who's pursuing wisdom. Well, then we ask the question, well, then what is wisdom? And the way I would describe wisdom is, the way I was taught, and so I repeat it, is wisdom is truth properly applied. So I know the truth, but then I also know how to apply it into life. And insight is the ability to see beyond the surface into the heart of a matter or the core of a matter. And I want to get wisdom and I want to get insight. And so we go, well, how do I do that? Well, later on in chapter 4, he describes the life of the wicked person. And the big thing that stands out there is that they're described, it's at night, and they can't even sleep until they do evil. That it just so consumes them, they have to do evil. And they can't get a good night's sleep until they act on this desire to do evil. And then he describes in verse 18 the path of the righteous person. The path of the evil person's at night, and they are driven to do what is wrong. And then he says in verse 18, but the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until full day. Man, what a beautiful picture of a wise person. They pursue righteousness. And this path of righteousness is like it's been dark all night, and then the light of dawn begins. And suddenly what was hidden in the dark becomes seen. It is illuminated. You can see it. But then he describes, as we are growing in righteousness, this dawn light, it's like the sun continues to move in the sky, and the day becomes brighter and brighter and brighter. Maybe you're a person who you don't think you're wise. But if you have been growing in righteousness, then your insight and your view, your wisdom, you have better insight. You're seeing better. Things are becoming brighter and clearer to you. So let's be people who pursue wisdom. And how do we do that? Well, according to Proverbs 4, particularly verse 18, righteousness. If you've been growing in righteousness, you've been growing in wisdom, whether you know it or not. And you see more clearly. You have better insight. That doesn't mean you're perfect. It means though you have grown. Let's be people who grow in wisdom by growing in righteousness.